Why do you play with my emotions? Why do you play with my mind? Said we'd be forever. Me and my immune system, we'd never die. How do you love me and you inject me with your kiss? Oh Lord, I'm black as hell. Good morning, everybody. I'm tired. We came to the end of the road. You'd rather be dead or extinct like a dodo, cause you dodo. Although we come, bye bye white people, to the end of the road. Got to inject the Negroes first. I gotta turn the lights on. It's too dark in here. I'm gonna get caught by the gates, right across the border. Did y'all know the gate said the African Americans will get it first? Yeah. Good morning, it's the end of the road. We about to be out of here. I love you, my people. Bye-bye. They're going to get us first. They're trying to depopulate. Apparently, I finally looked at the election and the selection. Apparently, it's a choice. It wasn't a landslide. So I know I'm done. I'm saying bye-bye, people. Bye-bye. I'm too dark. I ain't going to make it. They can line me up first. They said they're going to get the cure to us first. You know something about you did not know history. So of course them Rothschilds, Rockefellers gonna do it again. You voted against your own interest. And it didn't really matter, but it's on. Although we come to the end of the road, you are gonna get in the boat. Gonna get the hell out of here, cause y'all crazy as hell. I ain't got no more time for y'all. Good morning, everybody. We're at the end of the road. When people show you who they are, believe them. We all gonna die. Why is that funny to me? Because I'm gonna die first, because my skin is brown. He all over Africa tested, and that's why Obama put AFRICOM down and say keep testing on everybody, and India jumped up said, 500,000 people been named by your cures. And everybody like, cure us, cure us. 12 a dozen other countries said, no, the experiment, they want to stop. Africa stood up, protested, no, don't kill us no more. We can't take it anymore. We can't have babies no more. I'm not saved. I'm not saved. This is the breakdown. This is the deep voice breakdown. Who is that cartoon? He's on the bus peeing himself. I'm not saved. That's me right now. I'm not saved. I'm not saying, I mean, but don't get me wrong, folks. Y'all not gonna get it either, but they're gonna take us out first. They're gonna put that brother in there. He's gonna hand the whole world over to the New World Order. He's gonna hand it right over to the WHO, the CDC. He's gonna hand it all over. And they're gonna hand it right to the gates. And the gates gonna say, all right, we got to help the black people first. Like, yay! We're gonna go extinct, y'all. We like the dodos. You can let go. This is the chorus part. It's unnatural to have animal DNA in your veins with infant tissue. It's the end of the road, y'all. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Say goodbye to grandma. Say goodbye to... I finally looked at the election. It was useless. I wasted all my damn time yesterday trying to avoid not looking at the election because apparently nothing happened. Which is what they said. They said they were going to tie it up and make it seem like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers ain't choosing. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, it's the end of the road. I can't believe that y'all fell for this. You know what? I love y'all to death. Y'all getting me killed. I had to text my family this morning. I was like, just pause for a minute and just consider this. You keep texting me about you got to fight the systemics and the xenophobics and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, man, do you realize that that man released more brown people from prison than any other president, and more poor white folk from any other? That man done pulled more Harriet Tubman than anybody else. And I'm not saying believe it. I'm not saying believe it. Yes, he had a motive. There's always a motive. It's United States Incorporated. It's all for profit. Yes, he had a motive. But you literally are cheering people who are saying they need to cure the black people first. And you think this is going to go well? The people who got caught, at least in 2 countries, sterilizing people with brown skin, and you think this is you got to fight the racism but cheer the extinction. We go on the way of the dodo, people. I might have to lighten my skin up. What is that thing on the Boondocks? What does Uncle Ruckus have? And Michael Jackson had it too. What's that stuff called? Make your skin light? Because I need to hide. Y'all need to hide me. We need an underground railroad y'all had in this country to the new world order that need to cure the black people first. We're not safe. We're not safe. Come on, everybody. No, you know what? I didn't actually look at the election information because I don't really care. But I'm not avoiding it now. I feel like I've given my energy to dark energy avoiding it. I was avoiding it all yesterday. I didn't want to know no damn thing. Oh, I got a post. Oh yeah, this is true. This might feed into today. Our shortest path back to the Republic might be Kamala handing the colony publicly back to the United Nations. It might be. This is just the Bank of England. Publicly though. And the whole colony just give them back to it right away. You know, sometimes you gotta get bit by that dog. Sometimes you gotta touch the oven to learn faster. That might be the quickest path to sovereignty and freedom. It's just letting the dog loose. Like as a kid, you just think the dogs were safe. They weren't wolves. You could just walk up and pet all of them like, hey, goody. And then you go pet the wrong dog and you like, and you get real close, you're like, maybe we need to see like all types of poor people lined up and getting injectified and purified, turned to zombies or something before people get a clue. Might be. These people have never had your best interest in mind. Yeah, but that's sometimes, maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's the shortest route back to sovereignty is go ahead and let people start lining up and get cured. It's just funny because it's not funny because it's people that look like me that's gonna go first. All right, that's not funny. That's not funny. Don't laugh at that. Don't you dare laugh at that. Oh dang, silly! I put my phone in front of the camera. Said, "Look, I'm gonna die. I might live. I'm gonna die. I might live. I'm gonna die. Well, I live a little longer. That's all. Because y'all only got a minute past us as they come cure us. All right. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all got a president yet? Did y'all get your president? Did y'all get him in place yet? Did y'all get your new master? I mean, you know, and so I mean, it's no different. I think one choice, which you had no choice, was a delay. Another choice, which is no choice, is just an immediate one. And I know sometimes you got to get that spanking right away. Sometimes if you don't get that spanking right away, it doesn't, you know, because, you know, all right, I'm gonna stop. Hey, how y'all doing this morning? Yes, I finally looked at it. I didn't really look at it. I'm not avoiding it anymore. I feel like if I'm avoiding looking at the election, I'm giving it too much energy. I don't have any energy to give to no dark energy, Rothschild, Rockefellers, whatever this nonsense they up to next. Woo! So I found out enough to know that it was nothing to find out. Thank you for not telling me. I don't know where I come up with these projects. All right, let me bring you to when we get started. Good morning, everybody. When people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. When they want your race to go extinct like the dodos, don't be a dodo. Don't be a dodo. Don't be a dodo at all. Oh, I was talking to a good friend of mine this morning. His father got, well, they call it cuckoo virus. I can't say the name. And he actually, his brother-in-law died, got cuckoo virus and something else. Now, mind you, they became case and they died, but they had other problems. They were older, 60s, 70s, 80s, co-mobidities, that all still falls into play. All right, let's get going. Anyway, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? I stayed up for the riots, didn't happen. Well, Riley, because people ain't stupid. Nobody fighting no United States Incorporated. Come on, people, you know Americans are perpetrators. They like to talk a lot. Ain't nobody that stupid. They ain't seen these people blowing up nations with helicopters and tanks. Ain't nobody got no helicopters and tanks here. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Strong people can disagree and disagree with. Absolutely, Lori. Why would you need somebody else to agree with you? You got to be an adult. 60 and older. No, it isn't. Age doesn't exist, Lori. I've been trying to tell you this. I don't know why you ain't listening. Age doesn't exist. I said that for the people who believe in the age code. I don't believe in the age code, but people believe that they're 60. That the mirror neurons look at all the other people who are 60 and say, okay, I need to have 60-year-old problems. People who believe that they're 70 need to have 70-year-old problems. People who are 80 in the age code believe, and it doesn't matter what they want to do or not. It doesn't matter if they drink smoothies, eat healthy, or whatever. That's that subconscious. Once you're in the cult, you're in the cult. So yeah, age means nothing. It has a lot to do with what you believe. If you believe you can be sick, your mirror neurons gonna make you sick. Whew, goodness gracious. Good morning, everybody. Revitiligo. Thank you, Matthew. I need revitiligo. Hang on. I can make some revitiligo. So I can do it on the live stream. I can do it with a green screen, Matthew. I can't do it in real life. So when they come to cure me, said, no, it's not my turn. It's not my turn. No, y'all announced on the radio that the African Americans going first. Hey, look at this. Damn it. Oh, I'm consciousness. I'm ascending. Look at this. Oh, my Lord. I'm ascending. I'm evolving into consciousness. I am now energy. I am Gerard energy. You can't cure me. No, that's like a transporter, Matthew. I got revitiligo, see? Look, Gates, see? You're not supposed to do me first. You have not been tested on people like me. You've been tested in Africa and India and the Middle East. That you got to get them first, okay? Before you get me. And people don't seem to understand when I say that. So that's okay. We all in it together. We're wave energy. All you can do is kill this body. All you can do is kill the body. There you go. There goes that mocha I love so much. Good morning, everybody. Our lives are threatened just the same. Yes, they are, Lord. We're just going first. That's all. Cause Gates said that. Didn't Gates say that? I tried to find it on the YouTube, but they like to delete anything that they say that they get caught with their finger in the cookie jar. He said, because if you go and look, most people in brownish communities agree with that. They say that, yeah, well, we're affected differently by coocoo virus. Y'all need to come here and save us first, because they believe it and they agree with it. They trust that television. But they go right along with Gates, and people don't understand that this man is not a friend. You're not safe. His name is Milton. On the back of that Simpson bus peeing on himself. You're not safe. We've been here before. All right, I got this picture up here for a reason. We've been here before. Let's not act like we haven't been here before. Oh, did I look Chinese, Christine? Then that's good. If we can do Zoom, can we do Zoom injections? Can we do Zoom cure? If we can do Zoom cures, I get away with it. Like, no, it's not my turn yet. I'll go later. It's not my turn yet. Ooh, could put your color back on. I did. I forgot all the times and have to do the math. You always got to do the math. You got to do the math. Dodos didn't do the math. They're not here. They're gone. The world is still here. Hello. Yes, Ivan. The world's still here because people ain't crazy. It's not going to fight the United States Incorporated. What's wrong? No, nobody's that stupid. No, it's not stupid. There are people who are under 26 who don't see any hope. They'll fight the United States Incorporated, but I don't blame them. I blame the ignorant people who came before them who let them believe lies. That's who I blame. I blame them ignorant professors that taught them that white skin is bad. That ignorant. Y'all created this problem. And if you ask me, you need to go have an investigation round of all of these liberal professors and whatever they've been teaching, all this hate stuff they've been teaching. Isn't inciting a riot a crime? Isn't inciting riots across cities, across a nation? Isn't that kind of a crime? If you incite one little riot, what if you incite, how many riots didn't happen? There ain't nobody listening to me, so, It's just skin, people. It's just skin. I tell you what, that energy come out that sun, and wherever you at on the planet, that's what you end up being. Okay. Whew. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? You 100% agree. What you agree with, Jackie McMillan? If anything, we have disadvantage of sunburn. Yes, you do, Courtney, because you're in the wrong location. You're in the wrong location. You're not supposed to be where you're at. You get a sunburn. I trust my body. I trust my skin cells. If you get sunburned where you at, then your skin doesn't have the genetics for that sun that you're under right now. You got to move and find some natural sun tanning lotion. That's what you got to do. Don't put that chemical on your skin. Those chemicals come from this family. It's the Rothschilds right here. Well, actually, it comes from the Rockefellers. Don't put that stuff on your skin. These people are never here to help, especially when they pick the president. They're never here to help. And this is my perspective. If Trump doesn't win, it means he probably was doing some good. If he wins, y'all, he's total controlled opposition. That's my belief. That's my belief. I think I shouldn't laugh though, because people take this stuff real seriously. I don't know. I think it's funny. I don't know. It's just, why do people still think that Americans have say in their government?
I did my duty.
Yes, you're involved in a ritual. That's all you're doing. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happiness is a choice. Yes, Lori, it is a choice, but it also is a circumstance of being alive during the Truman Show. Being alive, well, it's not. It's like the Truman Show with the Matrix wrapped up in a bowl of Black Mirror. You can only laugh because I don't know what the hell to run. I don't know to run, duck, hide, shoot, fly. I don't even know what to do, and I just laugh at it like we just ain't safe. I'm just gonna sit here and pee in my pants. We're not safe. I can find that picture. What is his name? What is his name? I can find it because nobody knows what I'm talking about. What is the kid's name on the? It's The Simpsons, right? Where he's on the back of the bus and he's peeing on himself. The Simpsons. I'm not safe. I'm so not safe. Y'all gonna kill me and everybody look like me, and you kill everybody that don't look like you. Y'all need to stop it. Stop that. All right, Simpsons. I'm not safe. Kid pees on himself. How come that's not coming up? Safe pee. It's free to pee. Safe pee. It's free to pee. Safe pee. Oh, here it goes. Yeah, this is the kid right here. Well, this is him. I don't see the meme. Do y'all know who I'm talking about? Do y'all watch TV at all?
No, Gerard, because you say don't watch TV.
I'm saying the news. You're supposed to watch TV. Right here, this kid. He was on the back of the bus when he was peeing on himself. That's what I think. You know what? That's the part I missed. I think maybe I just need to just put my finger on my nose and pee on myself. That will be significantly more helpful than voting. No, he's on the back of the bus. I don't even remember that Simpsons episode. Let me steal this dude. I'm gonna take this down. You gonna steal it and hold it because I don't know what to do. All right, we come to you so you can tell us what to do, then you're gonna die. You're not gonna make it. I find this to be hilarious. I don't know why. It's the weird thing. I was talking to Susan about that the other day. Like, why is this funny? It's not funny. I need to find a dodo bird. Hang on. Let me find a dodo bird. That should be the background. Dodo bird. Dodo bird. But we don't have any pictures of the dodo bird. Why? Because they went extinct. Because they were stupid. They didn't learn to adapt. They thought that the Rothschilds were sending boats to their island to help, so the sailors pulled up and they were like, "Hey, dodo, dodo." They ran up to the sailors. "Hey, can you cure us? Can you help us?" So all the dodos are gone. Don't be a dodo. That should be the name of this. Lots of laughter. I don't remember his name either. I thought his name was Milton. Wasn't his name Milton? He didn't succeed. No, he did not succeed. When people stop taking selection seriously, we will have made progress towards individuals. I know that next word gonna be delicious. Sovereignty. Ooh, yes. Oh, that's just such a sexy word, Lord. Sovereignty. Gets me all warm and buttery on the inside. Sovereignty. Ooh, like I can do what I want to do, damn it. I can eat psilocybin and mushroom, grow some cannabis, or just drink water. I was thinking about the other day, it's just like, and I think about this once a week, but you know, why do people think that you need to, if something works, you need an advertisement for it? If it works, you don't need an advertisement. Good example, like science. Science? Is that Sandra? Damn it, Sandra, you can send me your phone number. We need to talk, by the way. I have to have a conversation. You have a particular level of experience in something I need to talk to you about. I need help. I run to my people when I need some help. Right. It's like water. Does water have commercials? I don't think water has, not real water, fake water does. Rockefeller water probably does. Does real water have commercials? And the best of my knowledge, the answer is no, right? Water doesn't need a commercial. You drink it, it works. Nobody needs to advertise it. Nobody needs to force you to drink water. It works. It's science, not science. Science has a commercial. Science doesn't need a commercial. It works. You tell other people, this is delicious, man. This made my headache go away. I didn't die in 3 days. You should drink some water. Right? It works. You don't need corporations to say that. If somebody's on TV and they got to tell you every 15 minutes that you need this and it's going to help you, it's not going to help you, and you don't need that. All right? You don't. You don't need to advertise water. It works. You don't need to advertise food. You don't need to advertise anything, because y'all know what I'm talking about, that actually cures anyone. People won't fight for that thing. All right? You don't need to advertise to them and pay them money to inject them. If it works, people will fight for it. That's all I'm saying. All right, good morning, beautiful human. Just the humans are beautiful, Susan. What was that? Oh, the dodo. I was trying to get the dodo. The dodo chain on. Hashtag don't be a dodo. You did your duty. I'm not judging you. You voted. Did the best thing that you could do. That's all right. You're supposed to do the best thing that you can do, the best thing that you think is going to help. That's all you're accountable for. You are not accountable to me for anything that I got to say. You're not accountable for nothing else. Do the best that you can. And if we got what it takes, we not going to go where this thing went. Right here, the dodo. I'm putting the dodo right on top of these the people who actually have the say in your country. Does the rest of the world know that they don't have a government? Or is it just America? Hang on. I'm trying to make his background. Oh. Extinct animals, yes, and extinct races. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing to go first. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe, listen, hey, maybe I don't want to see what they're going to do to y'all. Maybe I'm ready to go first. Maybe the left done figured it out. Maybe we supposed to go first. I'm going to put the dodo down here so you can see him until YouTube wakes up. YouTube's still sleeping. Let's move this over here. Ooh, look, alien guy. Yes. Ooh, he's supposed to be on top, isn't he? Ooh, move him forward. That's reptilians. He's supposed to be sitting right here with the raw shabs. Right here. Let's give him a seat. Who is this? Grandma? Let's put him right over here. And yes, I actually do this for a living. All right, anyway. Hey, Stacy Holden's in the house. Yes, it's all fake. Well, what's fake, Stacy? What's fake? I think that the selection is fake. The selection is definitely fake. Control over your nation is definitely fake, because ain't no trillionaire families giving you the ability to change the trillions of dollars that they make. Ain't nobody gonna let you you're not gonna take a gun from somebody, let alone take a Pentagon from the families that use that. We go kill, murderize, blow up, steal, anything that they want us to do. They ain't giving that up.
We're gonna let you vote to make a difference.
They're not gonna do that. But when it comes to cuckoo virus, no, I don't think that's fake. Oh, I don't think that's fake at all. No. I'm in the middle. I'm still in the middle. I'm in the middle. Hard in the middle. I'm still in the middle. I'm not, well, no, not middle. That's too strong. That's too strong. I am far over on one side, but I'm not on the extreme side. Something happened. But it ain't nowhere near damn as much as the news is. But something happened. And I think that they just keep that from everybody because of accountability. Right? You accidentally mess up and destroy the global population. You don't really want to admit that unless you're forced to, right? I wouldn't. Shoot, I ain't stupid. Shoot, I break mama's vase. Mama come home. Oh, I ain't telling mama nothing. Hell no. That woman got belts and shoes and switches and stuff. Hands. No. You force me to say what's true. If you prove to me that you caught that, when mama proves to me that she caught me in a lie, then I'll admit that I broke the vase. Until then, I ain't admitting I broke the damn vase. There ain't no way the government gonna admit that they helped create some gain of function thing that targets white blood cells. That ain't gonna happen. Not that you force them to. As long as we keep consenting to them, voting for them, no reason for them to. I can show you something. So when I first started to want to take a look at this, because I started getting indications that I was hiding from nothing, that nothing actually happened. My first stop had to be one young man who loved to tell the truth. Oh, this is delicious too. Is this it right here? I don't know, is that it? What is it? Oh, hang in there. When people show you who they are, y'all know that sound, especially government, for profit, entities, non-human. Show you who they are.
Welcome back to New World Next Week. I'm James Corbett of CorbettReport.com.
I'm James Evan Pilato from MediaMonica.com. You start a rumor, and then you see how the public reacts. We've got that story plus Hollyweird, Hearts the Derp State. But first, This Week in Tyranny Selection Edition. Now, it is basically 6 p.m. Mountain Time Wednesday, November 4th, to me. And obviously, the presidential selection is a developing, possibly mutating story, but an interesting exclusive from Axios, Biden's plan to assert control. If news organizations declare Joe Biden the mathematical president-elect, he plans to address the nation as its new leader, even if Trump continues to fight in court, advisors tell Axios. Biden advisors learned the lesson of 2000, and again, a lot of reminders of 2000 and 2001 coming this year, when Al Gore hung back while Bush declared victory in that contested election, putting the Democrat on the defensive while Bush acted like the winner. And this is always a perceptions game. If Biden is declared the winner, he'll be forming his government and looking presidential and won't yield to doubts Trump might try to show or sow. To show momentum, Biden may transition announcements quickly, starting with senior staff appointments. He's going to adopt a healing tone, they say, and begin talking about the path forward in battling, of course, the scamdemic. Look for Biden to embrace science and talk up the role of Fauci. From there, the transition would move with unprecedented speed. Biden had 8 years in the White House, surrounded by aides with decades of government experience. So the transition has made the most thorough agency-by-agency prep in history, including offices no one's thinking about. Biden has blueprints for staffing every single agency and has extensive plans for executive orders, including ones to undo that last terrible guy. Look for Biden to push to pass as much as possible under the banner of budget reconciliation, which requires just a simple majority. And this would be fairly stunning, James, I think, in American politics for someone to openly say, I want to raise all your taxes, and to get selected. I would say, in a lot of ways, that's an ambitious agenda, I think. I would wonder if they will 25th Amendment him. James, as we've talked about in so many ways, one team sets it up, the other team exploits it. So the question, you're like, oh, are you supporting the guys who created the ICE concentration camps or the ones that actually used them later? So I wonder, and there's speculate that basically Biden might be the one to get 25th Amendmented, and it would totally work for this whole idiotic year. He would be very contrite and step aside for the good of the nation. And then finally, you guys, we can get choked out by black lady cops. Progress. Meanwhile, Trump campaigned to immediately request recount in Wisconsin, citing irregularities. And James, the only thing I'll cite, there's no right, there's no left. It is the state versus you. And I worry, as we've been talking about, I think it might be Blue Helmet Boogaloo by the time they cancel Christmas here. And people will still be sort of playing games. And I actually, James, I did play the clip of Shattered Union recently on my show, as it is all just a world of predictive programming, I think. A real low point, if I can do a callback to my musical rants now, if Biden's in, you guys, it's going to be at least 4 more years before we get another album by the prophets of Run the Rage Against the Tool Cake. James.
As a Canadian in Japan and an anarchist, I am fighting every urge and inclination that I have to simply poo-poo all of this and say, who cares? But, having said that, I will offer at least this bit of insight into what is going on for all of you Americans out there. None of this chaos is surprising. The chaos is part of the plan, and we have known this for months at the very least. It has been in black and white and openly reported. People should look into the Transition Integrity Project, which was wargaming out every possible outcome of this selection that is being decided by the voting machines and the vote counters, not the voters. And they war gamed out every possible scenario, including what if Trump doesn't concede, and what if we have to kick him out with the military, and all of this. It's all been war gamed out. So no, this chaos is not surprising. My only interest in this selection process is whatever will delegitimize in the minds of the brainwashed statist masses the illusion of government power and control, and the strange cult that worships a single man. This man or that man is going to be the leader of 330 million people and will govern the country and tell the country what to do and be the person that decides everything, which we all know. Everyone who is watching us right now knows that is a total lie, a complete lie. The puppets in office have their strings pulled by the bankers who control the system. We all know this, but every 4 years, people lose their collective mind playing these stupid games, winning stupid prizes that they've already told you are going to come. They've told you about the chaos. They are planning for this selection, and everyone puts all of their energy, their psychic, mental energy, and invests their identity in this stupid charade every 4 years. And I understand how young people get suckered into it. I cannot for the life of me understand people who in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who have watched this charade play out every 4 years their entire life and still lose their mind over it. At any rate, I don't care whether it's douchebag or turd sandwich that gets in. The only thing that's of interest here is the way it plays out in the public consciousness, and that's up to us to decide, not whoever is in whatever political office.
I think I stated this morning on my morning show,
Whoever this man is, I love this man. I don't know who this man is. This man's brain is delicious, sexy, nutritious, and everything. I've never heard that quote in my life. He said there's no left and a right. He said it's just the state versus you. Oh my God, poetry to my ears. There's no left and a right. It's just the state versus you. There is no black and white. It's just Rockefellers against you. There is no Christian and Muslim. It's just the Egyptians, somebody, CIA, somebody. There's no left and a right. There's no reason to get upset over anything. Money decides. It doesn't really matter. I think you can change time scales for things, but when the billionaires, when they make that purchase, they have no interest in you undoing the purchase. They got the receipt for the country. They're going to do what they want to do. And Desiree, it's all a puppet show. I found it interesting to talk about the momentum, right? And that's the difference. And so, whoever they say, well, we think this person won, they're going to run with it. Whether that's Trump or Biden, they're going to run with it, whatever that agenda is. But that agenda always runs out of steam. You know why? Because in this world, you don't have no money to do anything unless you in bed with these people. Unless you're in bed with these Rothschilds and Rockefellers, you can promise the moon, you can promise some nuclear weapons, you can promise some land, some cell phones, you can promise any one thing you promise. It ain't gonna get done until these people agree to it. When they agree to it, then it'll get done. Until then, you're just speaking out any side of your head. It's their job to tell you what they're going to do and then fail doing it to do what they want them to do, to do what they paid for them to do. That's just how the world works, And so the whole, I understand the plan's right. My plan is to hand everything with you, but I just told you, the end of the road, the plan is to hand the nation to the New World Order and CDC and WHO, and that's Trump's plan too. He just doesn't know it yet. He hadn't been told that you're not supposed to be free. America ain't gonna be free until people want freedom. Americans don't want freedom. They want lockdown. They want help, virus, run. That's what they want. Until the people want to do it, Trump would be a fool. And so would Biden or Kamala, anybody else to help Americans. Why would you help people who don't want any help? All they want you to do is to get back at the other side. That's all they want. That he's gonna hand it to Fauci. Fauci be the god, so I got the Fauci socks and the drawers and the underoos and all that, so those sales will go up. He'll make his $1 billion with Moderna and all the test cases will go up. Everybody gets scared, super lockdown, shut down the rest of the building. The businesses hand the middle class over to the 1%, 0.01%, as quickly as possible. I believe Trump would do the same thing. It'd just take a little longer. He's got some other challenges, being a narcissist. He's got some other agendas. There are other things. See, I think Biden is very clear. He got that email. This is what's going to happen. And Trump is like, no, I'm in control. I can do this for me. And it's like, it's not your country, brother. It's not your world, and you ain't the president. It's a corporation, and you ain't got no say. You can try. You can't push a brick wall. You can't push a nation that's in debt. A nation in debt is a crackhead, like we talked about yesterday. No, it's not depressing. You stop that. It's fun. This is fun. We're all sitting on the back of the bus. We're gonna pee on ourselves. His name was Ralph. Was that his name? Hang on, I gotta do this. This is important. Ralph W. said it. I need the meme. The meme is very important. Ralph W. Yes, Norma. I find it funny. We're in danger. We're in danger. And the urination. That's him right there. That's him. He chuckles. We're in danger. I don't even remember the episode. That's what I need. Hang on. Let me steal this real quick. What the hell? I bent my Wookiee. Yeah, that's dangerous too. Did y'all see this? What the hell is this? This right here. Ralph Wiggum. Is that? Oh, his name is Ralph Wiggum. Hashtag The Simpsons. I bent my Wookiee? Yeah, you're not supposed to bend your Wookiee. I'm gonna get this one too. You're not supposed to bend your Wookiee. That's a bad idea. You bent your Wookiee. You only got one Wookiee. That's not science. Wookiees ain't supposed to be bent. That's like injections. That's not science. Natural science disagrees with your corporation science. You're not supposed to put those things in your body. Hang on, let's take this real quick. Oh, what's that? These votes taste like burning. These votes definitely taste like Mississippi burning specifically. All right, let me stop. Where am I at? You're supposed to go to corporate. Oh, this man is delicious. So what else he say? State versus no left, no right. State versus you. Like that's that whole point. It's just money. It's money, debt, and control. Slavery. You know, you're either fighting the plantation or you're fighting for the plantation. There's no left and right. It's just you voting for your own demise. So I had to text one of my family members this morning. I said, you're literally voting to enslave your girls and my sons. And I don't think that that's okay. I don't think that you selling out is important. Gerard saved my butt from being thoroughly humiliated this year. Hug and kiss his daddy. Hey, listen, Jackie, I did not save you. You know who saved you? This was a whole bunch of people here, and specifically Ty. I've told that story before. I'd be in tears right now, Jackie. With Lori, I'd be in tears right now, probably. If it weren't for Ty.
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna get it? I cast my vote. I'm making a difference.
So it wasn't me. I was just a parrot. I was ready to get out there and change my world too, into some very common sense. You know, that man has a lot of very common sense things he said. I know y'all upset with Ty. Y'all don't like Ty and stuff like that, but you know, let Ty be Ty. Ty says some very important things. Very wealthy people will not let you run the nation they own the resources in. They're not gonna let you run it. They're not gonna let you stop. They're not gonna give up their gun. You understand that scenario? Like, you know how people that, you know, don't tread on me, you can have my gun, you take it from cold dead hands. These people have a gun, and it's called your military. Right? They outsource it as a mercenary to the world's billionaires to do anything the hell they want, to steal anything they want. Venezuela, oil for the Koch brothers. Was it Morales, Bolivia, lithium, Afghanistan, the oil, the minerals, the opium, right? It's always about that. Africa, so somebody can keep experimenting on people down there, so they can get ready to come here and cure the people who look like the people that's over there. Oh boy, we're in trouble. Yes, we are in danger. Where is Ralph Wiggum? I downloaded. Here he is. This is the brother right here. This is the brother of the hour. We're in danger. I have to see if I can get a sound clip of him. That would be important. All right, so anyway, let's get back to it. Selections, not elections. Explain that to you. Only people who read will know this, that money and power run the world, not your votes. You're not allowed to vote on a plantation. You're a commodity. slightly underneath being a slave. The world's trillionaires will not give up their gun. If poor people making moonshine won't give you the gun from their cold dead hands, multi-trillionaire families will not give up nations they own and use the military to steal what they want. Okay, it's never gonna happen. You don't have a say. We have a say together. We have nothing apart. As long as there's a left and a right, we are all commodities. That's just a fact. I think this is why we're in good times in Ivan. That's why I'm not depressed. I was telling somebody 20 minutes ago that we're in great times. Tragedy brings a family together. We need to come together. We've got this world that's being dominated by a military force. The kids who just sign up to help their country and defend and democracy and love and freedom, and all of that great stuff. And you got a left and a right that increasingly have done this. You know, if we keep letting that happen, at some point in time, it will be a civil war. And do you want that? I don't particularly want that. I can run, don't want to run. I can shoot, don't want to shoot, right? At some point in time, before it gets too hateful, you gotta break this paradigm. And what I'm saying is I'm seeing a lot of people who are like that extreme, but y'all going way too far for me, you ignorant as hell, and they're starting to come back together. And that's mostly people here. But you can't let it go to the brink. So I think this is a paradigm shifting moment where it's gonna get broken down and people will default back to the basics. Like when it gets to be too much and you're on the back of the bus and you're peeing on yourself, you back to basics, you know, you got to go wash or something, change drawers. You got to do basic things, land, food, resources, save some seeds, save grandmama by eating healthy, not wearing no damn thing that doesn't work. All right, hey, good morning, Citizen Deb. You know, let's let him finish. Let's let it keep going, because you know me, I get to ranting. And we already sent the brown people to be extinct with the dodo. But they're going first, y'all coming next. I don't know what the order is. I have not talked to Bill Gates. I don't know who's next. If it's the Indians, if it's the Asians, if it's the Hispanics. I have no idea what the order of extinction is. All we know is there's an extinction. It's based on where they started, what countries, what they was doing. And that's what he literally said on television, live. And that's why I'm peeing on myself, because as you figure at that point in time, somebody should say, wait, what? What? Excuse me? What? Like, all right, I'm gonna say another way. Because what I said the other, it's like, if me personally, being what I am, which is a God wave energy thing, but most people see black man, whatever. If he said, we need to cure the world, we need to help everybody, save grandmama, do things. This is my gay school.
Well, we need to do
I need a pocket, I need a pen. He got the pocket protector, because that's the dude from back in the day.
we need to do the Asian people first. We need to make sure that we cure all the Asian people first.
I would be like, oh, hell no, is you crazy? What kind of racist nonsense? Right? But that didn't happen. It blows my mind. They were like, yeah, it's a good idea. Come here and cure us first. That's a great idea. We're going to save grandmama. Just go on and bring it. I'm just like, you know what the Tuskegee experiment is, don't you, bro? Like, same thing. If he had that pocket protector, he's like, okay, well, all we got to do is get the vaccines. And you get the vaccines, and we're going to save all the Irish people. I'd be like, hell no. Did you fall and bump your head somewhere? So that's just me. That's me. People went for it. They're like, yeah, it's a good idea. This is our reparations. Yeah, you see the dodo, don't you? The dodo didn't learn.
My main concerns is essentially if the fake left fangsters have been so successful at silencing any voice, when they were out of power, I fear they might be a little more emboldened being actually in fake power. So, of course, that's why things may be like, oh, BitChute was offline all today. What a coincidence. So this is episode 427 of New World Next Week, and we'll move to our second story as a...
Hang on, that could be positive. I didn't know that happened yesterday because I stayed off of the internet. I was posting, wasn't reading a damn thing because once again, I was avoiding the ignorance of the selection. which was a mistake because I just gave it all my energy. It's too hard to avoid it when people really, really want to follow it. So I was avoiding text messages, turn the phone off, pop-ups, try not to see them, which is weird because my subconscious already saw them. It's like my conscious mind wasn't processing it. And you know how that works, right? Because your brain only shares with you pertinent information. Right? Like there's a lot going on, and your brain only shares with you what it sees that it thinks you need to know. Then this is how I know I'm in sync with my conscious and my subconscious mind. Because my subconscious mind didn't tell me any damn thing about it yesterday. It saw all your pop-ups, your posts, your comments, and all that stuff in my peripherals, and it didn't share anything with my conscious mind. So I know it's unimportant. Why'd I say that? Yesterday, oh, BitChute. That's interesting. That is actually interesting. I didn't know that they were down. It could be positive or could be negative. It could be positive or negative, like a case, like a cuckoo virus case, which people still have no idea what a case is. So it could be positive or negative, right? Could be that people are going to BitChute and they realize,
Damn, we're being played. Let's go figure this out.
who allows free videos and free speech? BitChute. Okay, everybody's running the BitChute. So maybe people shut it down because they were using the servers. That's probably the not likely scenario. It's a possibility. Most likely they just shut it off. Like, nope, we're going to control this narrative. This is our platforms. We own them. We will control the narrative. That's probably what they did. We're slightly numb. Yeah, I think we are, Tony. They made us numb. They made us numb. And ooh, who was I listening to? Said something about a human being. It's supposed to be humane, right? Human being means to be humane and compassionate. Ralph Smart said that. I was listening to Ralph this morning. Human beings are supposed to be humane and compassionate towards all humanity. All humanity. Breathe in that sexy ass part of it. You know, and so if we're supposed to be humane, you can't really be in a team. You can't really be in a subhuman group. You don't really have a left or right. The very concept of division supports the state. It supports your slavery. So most likely they shut down BitChute because it conflicts with the narrative. Most likely.
Again, all the world is a stage. Pretty interesting stuff from Mint Press News. Angelina Jolie's MI6 interview shows just how connected Hollywood is to the deep state. And I think all of our stories this week will be quite the rich tapestry. With election fever still gripping the U.S., which I would say is an actual sickness, not a fake scamdemic one. Talk of rigging or interference in the democratic process is reaching new levels, high enough that even Hollywood legend Angelina Jolie is talking about it. In an extraordinary interview with Vote Time Mockingbird magazine, the star of Wanted, Maleficent, and Lara Croft Tomb Raider sat down with the former head of the UK's MI6 spy network, Sir Alex Younger, to ask how worrying the threat from Russia or China really is. We're gonna have two sharply different value systems in operation on the planet for the.
Is anybody getting what they're doing? Like when they're taking Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Bond, Angelina Jolie, all the heroes in the adult minds, and getting them to talk with people who actually really do the things in real life and they're powerful like they're real people and they say real things. They're not fantasy, it's not Hollywood, it's not bullshit, it's heroism. Is anybody saying that? They're linking and merging together people who your subconscious mind, once again, your subconscious mind just takes in data. It's just information. To your subconscious mind, that's a hero. She's a hero. She drives tanks, blows up things, swings from the air and saves people and everything. And whatever comes out of her mouth, your subconscious mind's like, yeah, this is real good to go. This is the facts. This is reality. In real life, she's a hero. Blah blah blah. Like that's the danger of televised vision. That's the danger. Your subconscious mind's like, yeah, this is just TV. But your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, like, this is very real. This woman has very important things to say about cuckoo virus.
Foreseeable future, we mustn't be naive. We need to retain the capacity to defend ourselves, he told Jolie, who never challenged him on anything and even asked the head of perhaps the world's most notorious spying agency, which of course the CIA would go, how can we protect ourselves from fake information? So that's what they're talking about. To some, again,
I don't know. Don't have acronym agencies that hide the information. Just don't vote for governments, political parties, and identities that literally have propaganda acts that keep the information from you with your tax dollars. I don't know, just a shot in the dark. If we know that we make bad information or part information, half information, and no understanding of the Invention Security Act of 1951 is, maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't vote for people who claim the ability to keep information from us to get us so emotional that children would be in the street fighting with police officers and burning down Walmarts. Maybe it's a bad idea to continue to cheer for a system that makes that a norm.
Pairing of a Hollywood star and a veteran spy master might seem strange, but in reality, silver screen and national security state have always been intimately intertwined, and as much as Agent Jolie presents herself as a leading humanitarian and, of course, guinea pig for the cult of scientism,
oh my God, stop that.
Even being appointed...
Did I say United Nations? Oh, Lord have mercy. We need Hollywood, dun, 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 Hollywood. Like, they're not even hiding. It's just all connected. You see that they're taking Hollywood people. They don't put, what's that, Superman. They can put Superman up there, but the problem is he's a cartoon. Literally got Angelina Jolie. And she's fine as days long, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I'm a man. I shouldn't be in control of nobody but my damn self. But I have a little thing in the back of me that's just like, don't trust the booty and the smile. You know, there's that whole BWB? Who's the name of that group that don't trust the big butt and the smile? Remember that's Bobby Brown, somebody? Was he the smoke with the crack guy? Don't trust the big butt. Yeah, I think it was, no. I forgot who said. Anyway, don't trust big lips and a smile. Right? Because the lips ain't real, other things ain't real, something else ain't real. Most likely, just a regular person with a whole lot of additives so she can be in Hollywood and save the universe to your subconscious, so you would believe her when she is on stage and you think she's pretty and she's saving you by talking to the UN. I honestly don't care what Kanye West has to say about the cuckoo virus. I don't care what Angelina Jolie has to say about lockdowns. I don't care what anybody in Hollywood has anything to say about anything. And I actually don't even care what your government got to say about my health. Because my health only became very strong with my mental health. But we're going to pause that mental health part for that. I stopped doing the opposite of whatever I was told. When I actually started doing the opposite of what they subsidize and the commercials from the big corporations from these people right here, I magically became healthy. The mental health we're still working on, it's kind of hard, like living in a world where everybody believes that this is real. All right, what does she have to say? Now it's important. See, I infected your subconscious, hopefully with the reality that they just took a entertainment star that half the men are like, oh, you know, and the women are like, she's a hero, and put her up in front of the United Nations to tell you something important because it's all a show.
Special envoy for the UN Commission for Refugees. She sure hangs around with a bunch of war criminals.
See, cue Patricia Hauser, wherever she's at, now you're going to start singing. All right, not going to go there, I'm just, in general. We had a saying, as I moved the dodo bird. We had a saying, right? Didn't we have a saying, something to the effect of, yes, it's a we. That's why I said mental health and illness. I see all my friends as a we. Like, we're all connected, we're all one. It's like a schizophrenic type thing on the internet live stream. When you look around, there's a war criminal on your left, there's a war criminal on your right. When you look around and there's people protecting Epstein on your left, people protecting Epstein on your right. If you look around and the people you're around are in support of Child Protective Services being the #1 bureaucracy and funded the budgetary thing of the time, that trafficking human beings, taking children from their parents is the most important project, and these people over here, and these people over here, you just might not be on the right side of things. You just might not. I don't know. I tend to think that child abuse is bad. I tend to think that pedophilia is bad. I think taking children to Hunt Island is bad. I think that it's not a good idea to stand around people with bifurcated tails, horns, fire that shoots from their mouths, and injections that come from their budgets.
It's like Condoleezza Rice and George Bush, responsible for the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Those are going super well, James. And of course, remember, if
we need a separation of Hollywood and state. That's what we need. We messed up. We messed up because we got a separation of religion and state, but we really should have got a separation of every damn thing in state, including us.
Joe gets in.
Lie to you about it no more.
All those wars are going to end, man. The peace and love party. I can't wait. All those wars. They're probably they're probably finished already while we're talking. So Jolie hangs around with Condoleezza Rice. Of course, she's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, along with fellow Agent Clooney. James, this is one I didn't know. She penned a joint op-ed in the New York Times with John McCain calling for U.S. intervention, of course, in Syria and Myanmar. The effect of years of propaganda has been to improve the standing of the deep state and make the American public more conducive to supporting the tactics of the CIA and the military. James, I think this directly relates to our first story. One academic study found that showing torture scenes from the TV show 24 to liberal college students made them support it more for anyone deemed an enemy of the state. Democrat-aligned voters' opinion of the FBI rising through the roof over a decade, to the point 77% hold a favorable view of the FBI. 2/3 of the country love the CIA. Thus, while the entertainment industry might be liberal in that it largely opposes Orange Man and donates to the Democratic Party, it works closely to support and uphold the national security state, promoting ultra-patriotism and American aggression all throughout the world. But you got to present yourself as a champion of human rights while you work to destroy the very institutions responsible for maybe upholding or destroying some of those rights, depending again on which way the wind is blowing. This sounds, I think, James, in a lot of ways, it's like the Hollyweird version of my fake music rebel rants. They put up this front, but the reality is completely different.
Yes, as usual, I think people would be best served by going to the actual source of this interview and reading it for themselves to get really the flavor and tone of Angelina Jolie, Council on Foreign Relations member, Angelina Jolie being a sycophant to this outgoing MI6 chief.
Oh my God. All right, I can't do that no more. That's delicious. I can watch the rest of this later. Oh my gosh. Next thing you're going to have Pee Wee Herman tell you about how the election system is rigged. All right, hold on. I'm going to move Rothschild over. Move God's over. Hang on. And move God's over because I don't feel, it's like an OCD and, hang on, move the chicken over. They taste like chicken. But nobody knows what they taste like because they believe that the shit from out to help them. And they got cured.
To really get the flavor of it. So, of course, we'll include the link to the archive.is version so you don't give any of the click traffic to Time Magazine, Vote Magazine, the Great Reset Magazine, whatever they're calling themselves these days. But yeah, you start to get the sense of just this fawning, oh, this celebrity's just so much in love with this dashing spy chief. Oh, actors pretend to be other people, but they do it on a film set, surrounded by a cast and crew who know it is a pretense. As a spy, how do you prevent that from damaging your personal integrity? To which, of course, he answers, oh, there's a trope in the movies that this is a morality-free environment. Speaking for my former service, the opposite is true. You need to have a very developed sense of your values as a person, as a human being, and as an organization. Right, Mr. Pompeo? We lie, we cheat, we steal. Yeah, that kind of values as a person, right?
He actually said that. So, a couple things. I'm going to hold my commentary on.
You could, again, please read through it. And, of course, the meat and potatoes is in the geopolitics section of this, because exactly as you suggest, it's just an excuse to throw out all the same canards that we've seen thrown around by the good, concerned Hollywood liberal crew for several years now. Like, oh, people are talking about peace, terrible peace in Afghanistan, but if we leave without installing a puppet that we can completely control, they might do things we don't like. What'll happen then?
I don't know, people will be free. They won't have slavery. They won't have bombs dropped on their heads.
No, it's funny though, but you make jokes and don't want to get too jokey. I went too far with my family member this morning. I kind of pulled it back and just said, but you know, the thing is, these people are brainwashed. You know, so the whole Hollywood thing, and like, think about it like this. When I think about Morgan Freeman saying something, I tend to listen because he's God. In the movie, he's God. You see God, your subconscious like, this is God talking. Shut up. This is what Morgan got to say. You know, I do that. And so I know that this is brainwashing. We have to accept that these people are really, really, really brainwashed, and they're being played by a massive media. Massive media.
Or talking about Russia, how serious is the threat? Or, oh, China is emerging as the winner of this pandemic. What will happen next? It's really quite sickening. But I thought there was one question that was particularly revealing, not because the answer itself was actually a good answer, but because it was such a ridiculous dodge of the question itself. Where Angelina asks this MI6 chief, if what you do is secret, how are agencies like yours held accountable? Good question, right? And that seems like a pretty easy softball for him to knock out of the park. But here's his answer. Secrecy is not the purpose of what we do. It's part of what we do, and it's necessary because there are many brave men and women who agree to work with us whose only protection is our ability to keep their identity secret. But we are highly accountable. We don't recruit from some extraterrestrial planet. We recruit members of the public who share the same values as you have, and that I have, and would simply not tolerate the types of breaches of law and values of which we are sometimes accused. So the answer there is apparently, trust us. You know, what else do you want? You can trust us. We're just like you. I mean, it's so transparent hogwash. I do not know what level of the public this is aimed at. The absolute bottom tier of the bottom tier of propaganda consumers would believe any of this. But anyway, this is what they're trying to shove in your face right now, and they're using the Hollywood glitterati to do it. Same old tricks over and over again. I would like to think more people are waking up to it, thanks to the work of yourself and myself and others who are deconstructing this live in real time on the internet while we still can. But as you say, the deplatforming and all of the other chaos of this planned chaotic event of the dark winter that's coming into view might derail that. So hang on. All I can say is hang on to your own mental integrity and your own personal sense of what is true and what is fake, what is real, what is not, what is propaganda, what is not. Take everything that you've learned from what we've been teaching you for the last decade plus and really hang on to that, because it is going to be tested in the coming months. And things like this are just a basic litmus test, whether you're speaking to a normie or someone who actually can think for themselves. Can you see through the propaganda in something like this? If the answer is no, then I'm afraid you're already lost.
We've been talking about this a lot at home. It has that so much of what the church, the state, the military, the school, the media, you name it, tells you to never trust your own judgment or let alone experience. You should give it all over to, of course, lab coat technocrats who have your best interests at heart. So let's finally put, I think, our first two segments together, and I think kind of show like 1 + 1 = 2 in these tyrannical statist systems, regardless of which, gang signs they want to throw. This is a fun one, James. Forged letter warning about wolves on the loose, part of Canadian military propaganda campaign that went awry. A letter from the Nova Scotia government sent out to residents to warn about a pack of wolves on the loose in the province was forged by Canadian military personnel as part of a propaganda training mission that went off the rails, by which they mean mission accomplished. The letter told residents to be wary of wolves that had been reintroduced into the area by the provincial and federal governments and warned the animals were now roaming the Annapolis Valley. The letter, which became public, sparked concerns and questions among residents, but was later branded as fake by the Nova Scotia government, which didn't know the military was behind the operation. Again, sometimes the left gang doesn't know what the right gang's doing. Training also involved using a loudspeaker to generate wolf sounds. The fake letter was part of new skills being tested by the military as it hones its expertise for launching propaganda missions at home and abroad. The letter was developed by an information warfare specialist with something called the Halifax Rifles, which would be a great band name if it weren't a reserve unit. They not only forged the logo of the Wildlife Division, but also attributed the letter to a real Nova Scotia government employee without permission to do any of that stuff. A phone number on the letter, which residents were to call if they had concerns about the wolves, was traced by the Ottawa Citizen to the work number of an Environment Canada employee who also happens to be a Canadian Forces reservist. So we basically jump to Emma Bryant, professor at Bard College here in the States, specializes in researching military propaganda, which has been essentially the topic of this entire episode. She said what the Canadian Forces did was a major violation of ethics. This is way over the top. It's a very dangerous path when you start targeting your own public with false information and trying to manipulate them. She said it probably had nothing to do with wolves, and it was likely an exercise in testing the military skills and trying to manipulate the population with false information. You start a rumor about wolves on the loose, and then you see how the public reacts again and again. It's really interesting, James. The brave New World Order finds just all these new ways of inclusivity, peaceful riots, agent actors, and now, finally, military environmentalists. James, this one's nutty.
It is insanity. But first and foremost, I want to give props to Dan Dix of Press for Truth, the recently deplatformed Dan Dix of Press for Truth, which is where I encountered this story. He just did a video on it a couple of days ago, so we will throw in a link to that video so you can watch it on a non-YouTube platform in order to find out his take on this story. But long story short, yes, this is one of those stories that comes out every now and then that in one sense, on one level, seems fairly trivial. Well, all right, so there was something about wolves or something that they were ginning up and just as a test or something. But it actually is insane, and it really speaks to the much, much larger, much darker agenda and the way these things play out. So this particular letter got exposed as being a complete psyop by the military, and when it got exposed, if you go and read through that Ottawa Citizen article, which I suggest you do, you'll see that the military said, oh, this was all just part of some training for, propaganda techniques that we're putting the military forces through. Don't think about that too much. But then the Ottawa Citizen said, so this was just a training thing. You were just composing this letter, and somehow the letter got released to the public. It wasn't supposed to. So who set up the loudspeakers? And what was that about? This isn't just... And the military guy goes, I don't know how that happened. I'll have to check into that. So, yeah. Oh, it was just a training exercise. We were just practicing typing, is essentially what they're saying. But I don't know. Someone set up a loudspeaker with wolf calls and things. Whatever. Don't think about it. But it is the kind of thing that occasionally comes out that is just so silly that people will laugh it off. But no, I mean, really think about this. This entire coordinated campaign to convince an entire public of this threat that doesn't exist in order to test how they will react to that and what kinds of things, what will the public respond to and how will they respond, that really speaks volumes to the world that we are living in. And you really think that they're going to do all of that, but they're never going to use that for any nefarious purposes. I mean, no, the terror threat boogeyman that they've been holding in front of your face for 2 decades is totally real, guys. I'm super serial about that. Totally real. And the new virus that's going to kill everyone, I tell you, totally real. Totally be scared, quaking in your boots about that. But, this wolf thing was totally made up, and it was just a training exercise. Who set up the loudspeakers? I'll check into that. And then you never see them again. It's preposterous. Anyway, big props to Dan Dix for digging this up. This is a crazy story, and please do go read that article, because you can't make this up. I would never have even dreamt up a scenario this stupid and this outlandish, but here it is.
Well, and again, and so much of this over this episode 427 of New World Next Week as we wrap this baby up. Another, I think, very important episode. It's almost like they've practiced all of this. It's almost like everything happening this year was war gamed last fall or something. Whether it's the selection or fake diseases or how they're going to censor the web or riots or what have you, it's like, wow, it's all been planned. As we have been reminding folks these last few months, James, we're using the North American Post Office box for support for New World Next Week. But actually, it just hit me, James. If people think that the post office is the thing that screwed them out of their winner then of course, that's going to be another platform that people will stop to use. Post office box, Patreon, PayPal, crypto, like we have all of the ways to support. We don't care how. Now more than ever, as of course the weird code words have always been used in the past. Alternative media needs your support again. James, this I think of it maybe never on mic. We've kind of joked, I've joked at least, that the New World Next Week is in some ways like the Drudge Report, at least sort of in production style in a way of alternative media. We've never changed. We've never pandered. We do 3 stories a week. We talk about it. We're not corporate funded. That's what we are, and that's what we will always be. James.
All right. Well, let's do it again next week. Talk to you then.
Take care, buddy.
Fantastic. And something I noticed. Another indicator as to whether you're getting close to truthful information, I don't think anybody knows the truth, is are there any commercials in between? Like, think about it like that. If you want to follow people online on these mainstream platforms, consider whether or not they are demonetized. If they are demonetized, there's probably a good reason. I notice in watching corporate videos, there's never a commercial. There's never a commercial. Why? Because he's saying things that defy what they don't like. One thing I'll say about the president, y'all can't take away from him, is we actually had the privilege of going for 4 years with someone actually defying most of the mainstream media. That was a wonderful thing. It was a wonderful thing. The whole fake news thing, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed every minute of that because they're lying, they're cheating, and they're bastards. And they're all working for the 0.01%. So I appreciate that part of it. What a joke. It's all a joke, Desiree. It's all a joke. And that's what you do. You just have to laugh it off. You cannot take these people seriously. Like, that's what they want. They want you to take them seriously. You know, we have to be able to have honest information of the domain. If you don't have that, then you're always going to end up right back in the same spot where history repeats itself. This is all planned. These people have not been up to anything new in 3,000 years. Same.
A lot of people that have cats are unknowingly doing something that is shortening their pet's life. I've been a veterinarian for 45 years, and I've treated thousands of cats.
Once you started working on Mr. Toodles, he improved dramatically, and I think you gave him probably an extra couple of years. Yeah. Squeaky.
You know what if we had a government that was just concerned about the life of their span of their citizens like these people are their cats?
Yep. Trump
That might be a good commercial, but I had to stop
How would he
because
know?
I see a contradiction in focusing on the extending the life and saving cat grandmama's life while we have the government just subsidizing the poisoning of grandmama's life while half the people believe that they're actually saving grandmama's life. More than half the people. If we actually give more love, care, and concern to cats than to the other.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Liberty Report.
Perspective.
With me today is Daniel McAdams, our co-host. Daniel, good to see you.
How are you this morning, Dr. Paul?
Good, I'm recovering, but I've not recovered completely yet.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But, you know,
Big Dan kind of looks like Big Dan T. Remember Big Dan T? From, what's the name of that movie? That was a good one. If you didn't watch it. Ooh, I need a movie list. I got a book list, I need a movie list. Because Thank You for Smoking. If you haven't watched Thank You for Smoking, you should watch that. That'll explain American politics to you. But no, that one. What movie was Big Dan T on? That sounds wrong.
I've not recovered completely. Hello, everybody, and thank you
But the Soggy Bottom Boys, you know what I'm talking
for
about.
tuning in to the Liberty Report.
And T.
With me today is Daniel McAdams, our co-host. Daniel, good to see you.
How are you this morning, Dr. Paul?
Good, I'm recovering, but I've not recovered completely yet.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But, you know, I went to bed pretty early. I didn't think too much was to be expected to come of this. I think there's going to be a lot of people wondering what the results are of this election for a long time to come. Even when it's decided, it's not decided because there'll be some shenanigans going on somewhere.
Not me. President Grant is still the president of the United States Republic, the United States Incorporated. Nobody should care who the president is.
So it's a shame that there used to be a time, even when they were fighting and fuming, that was a rather calm evening. And I can remember, I guess the first election I remember, presidential election, it's pretty amazing. I think I was 5 because it was Wendell Willkie in 1940. I think I was 5 years old. But my dad would listen to the returns by radio, of course, and it was a big deal. And but now we have all this activity, and we get to follow it minute by minute, and and sometimes they prepare for their shenanigans and their lawsuits a long time before the election is over.
Yeah.
But
Shenanigans,
you know, it
shenanigans.
might fit into my theme about the bankruptcy of this country. You know, the physical, financial bankruptcy as well as the moral bankruptcy. When you think about it, one of the reasons why before the election, when I would be pressed on who I thought would win, I came up with Trump. Not that I had a real, insight and that I had secret information. It was just that I thought with all that stuff breaking, the potential, corruption of the Bidens, there's no way that the people are going to be voting, for an individual like that. But it looks like a lot of votes were cast. But right now, so far, what we've seen, or I've seen and looked at, there's a lot of questions raised. Where are the votes? Traditionally, it was pretty good, but at the end of the night, most of the time you knew who won and who lost in all the races. But that is not the case now. It's not 100 here and 100 there. It used to be that the absentee votes, and that's not been so long ago. 10 minutes after the polls closed, you had the absentee votes.
Yeah.
And you had those results. And then, of course, there were the delays with the military vote, but they were always small in number. But that's not what we're talking about now. They're not talking about 100 or 200 votes or 1,000 or two. They're talking about all of a sudden 100,000 picked up. And there was one report that they found it, and every single vote went to one candidate. And then you'd think that would raise a question on just what's going on. Where have those ballots been, and what's going on? So I think there's going to be a lot of sorting out to do. I don't think this is going to be settled. There's even the possibility it won't be settled by the 22nd of January, but I think it will be, because I think the Supreme Court, let's say that it was deadlock on all these cases and so confusing and so ridiculous, some of these rulings, that they might just have a ruling and go ahead and say, look, settle it into Congress, settle it in the House of Representatives, settle it in the Senate the way the Constitution tell them to do it. And that is what I would think is likely, to happen. But it remains to be seen. Right now, if you're looking at the markets say it looks like Trump's going to be in there, and the markets won't be shaken up too much. But then when you look at the people who do the betting, which is devised a little bit differently, they're putting cash out. They're saying that Biden is going to win. So even the bettors and the markets haven't figured out what's going to happen. So there's a lot of confusion out there, because there's a lot of confusion in this election. And I wish it weren't so serious. It could be just fun figuring this stuff out, but has a lot of ramification. The only thing, I was searching for something that would be positive, and it may be that the old-fashioned complication that many libertarians have talked about, gridlock isn't all that bad. Some people said when you have the government shut down, this is horrible, horrible, horrible. But sometimes when to get shut down, maybe they'll do less. But then it got to the point where government's on autopilot, so you shut down the government and they still do things. So we've lost our way when it comes to spending and the role of government and what elections are all about. So I guess it's going to be many weeks now before this is resolved.
It was an amazing night. I was up watching the returns, and it seemed to progress normally for quite a while. They were calling votes and this sort of thing, and then all of a sudden, I was watching Fox News. All of a sudden, they called Arizona for Biden, and a very, very small amount of votes have been counted. And even the other people on Fox asked the guy, "Are you sure about this? Do you want to reverse this?" They kept saying this over and over. No. They called it for Biden extremely early on, and that had a huge effect. And then after that, they simply stopped calling states for anyone. They basically stopped. That was past midnight. I finally went to bed, but and they literally did in battleground states. They simply stopped counting. And someone mentioned this is maybe the first time ever. They just said, we're not going to count any more votes. And Molly Hemingway, who writes for the Federalist, made a good point. She said they were calling close states for Biden immediately, And the states that were overwhelmingly going to Trump, they waited and waited and waited to call those states. So it brings into question certainly the media's role in this. The other thing, there are a couple of things, and I'll point to some discrepancies. Again, we don't know. These are things that we've seen that cause us to raise questions in our minds about what's going on here. First off, and this is Alex Berenson, former New York Times reporter, he just tweeted out, according to the Wisconsin Election Commission, there were 3,684,726 registered voters as of November 1st. 450,000 more than that number voted. So that is a little bit suspicious. And let's look at a couple of these clips that we're looking at. Again, we are not making any claims. We're simply looking at some anomalies. Here's Michigan on the left. It got an update. They updated, meaning a big bunch of votes came in, and so they updated. Every single one of those votes updated, 138,339. Every single one went to Joe Biden after this update of the votes. That seems strange. We don't know the answer. It seems very strange. President Trump has retweeted this map himself with the question mark about how is this possible. Let's look at the next one because this happened elsewhere. This is that jump in Michigan when all of a sudden 130,000 votes, all of them went to Biden. Let's look at the next one. And here's next door in Wisconsin. You see that same jump. Here is Trump in the lead by a comfortable margin. You can see that red line, comfortable margin, and all of a sudden over 100,000 votes are dropped, all for Biden. It definitely raises questions. Let's look at the next one really quickly. I think we have one more. The same thing happened in Georgia. All of a sudden, a huge bump. Now, President Trump right now is maintaining a slight lead there. But the question is, where's the next big box of votes going to come from? Suspicious. We don't know.
And to expect an answer for this in a short period of time, this is going to be a can of worms for sure. You know, and the other thing that's going on, it's going to end up in court. It's going to end up, as far as I'm concerned, with the Supreme Court. And they don't know, they just don't have a few state laws that have been changed that permitted some of this. There were many, many cases that reestablished the rules, and they won them in courts lower than the Supreme Court. And when it gets to court, I don't know how they're going to have a true ruling without dealing with every one of those laws that changed the way you counted the vote. And of course, to have a jurisdiction, I guess states can mess up their own election, but they can't mess up the presidential election. So there would be jurisdiction, and I just think that that's going to come, but who knows when. Maybe today we'll see something else break, but if it continues this way, then all of a sudden they find a couple 100,000 votes and they go to one person.
Kim Jong-un.
You know, I've told this story before, but there was a mini story like this when we lost an election by 100 votes, and we found 1,300, and we were having a contest going on, and we found these books, these sign-in books, always with the same signature. You know, where did these votes come from? Oh, here they are. They're right here. They all voted in precinct 10, you know, and they all had the same signature. So, but these people, but it's not like this whole idea that you don't even have to have a postmark on it, you know, and prove anything. You don't have to have identification. And I bet you, when it's all settles, you'll find that there'll be some places there are going to be more votes than people.
Yeah, well, we already
maybe that's it, huh?
In Wisconsin, more votes than certainly registered voters. At least that's according to their website. So who knows? But let's have a couple more charts to look at because we're raising questions about it. Let's look at this next one. This is also Alex Berenson. Astonishing chart here. It suggests Philadelphia mail-in ballots are running 19-1 in favor of Joe Biden. His net margin looks to be about 90%. Question mark. There's a big question mark about that. Hillary Clinton won that area that he's talking about with 82% of the vote, so definitely is a Democrat stronghold. However, he's above 90%. This really is Kim Jong-un levels of voting. Let's look at the next one. And why is that? What is happening in Pennsylvania? The president has to win Pennsylvania at this point for any chance. This is the Attorney General of the state, the person in charge of the elections. Here's what he said a couple of days before the election. If all the votes are added up in Pennsylvania, Trump is going to lose. How would he know that before the election even took place? That's a big question.
He might have been the protector of those ballots that was they
But you want him in charge of things.
Yeah.
He's already predicted that Trump will lose.
You know, I am interested in, what kind of changes occurs after an election. You have a new administration, you have a new Congress. But it's harder to talk about that right now because we don't have an election yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's in limbo. But if we have a pseudo-election, we had the election, we just don't have the results yet. But one thing that became, and I thought it was a pretty significant event, and one of the reasons why I thought Trump would have a lot more votes and there'd be none of these questions, had to do with the lockdown, and the kind of things that violated civil liberties and on and on. But the lockdown probably hasn't, there's probably no significant change, but if we'd have had a clean election, there might have been a referendum on this. So it looks like it's going to be pushed aside right now. Nobody cares. I'll bet if they needed some people going in there switching ballots, nobody would have to wear a mask to get the dirty work done. So I think it's a forgotten thing because I think in many ways it was a concocted issue before the election, and it should have been an important issue because that's where the civil liberties were being threatened. It was literally being threatened by people not being allowed to leave their house and on lockdown, and so many businesses went broke over it. So there's a big issue there, and you should have a referendum on that. So that we change something. That policy is so horrible, and yet it looks like now, depending on what the governors want to do, they're going to continue with this. Maybe indirectly it'll be a distraction from the governors writing more executive orders dealing with coronavirus. Who knows? But I think lawlessness is sort of pervasive in our system today.
Yeah. And I monitor Twitter as we're talking. Not that I'm paying close attention, but I just want to be sure to clarify that we've seen a clarification of this Wisconsin issue that I just mentioned, and it looks like, indeed, not more people voted than were registered. They just had an extraordinarily high turnout. Again, it's possible we're raising issues, we're not making conclusions, so it's incorrect that more people voted than were registered, but a very, very high number voted that were registered. Now, you mentioned earlier the changes in the electoral process in the U.S., and this is something I have to admit basically went under my radar screen. I've always been interested in elections. I was an election monitor for a number of years over in Central and Eastern Europe. I know a bit about monitoring elections. I know a bit about when red flags come up in the processes. There are so many red flags here. It looks like a May Day rally in the USSR. But here's a really important thing that went under my radar screen until I started digging into it today. And let's look at this next clip. This is from Breitbart. I made a joke. I was on RT earlier today, and I made a joke that the same people who invented Russiagate are the people who were counting coronavirus are the people who are now counting the ballots. I was joking, but it actually looks like it's true. This is lawyer Mark Elias. He was Hillary Clinton campaign lawyer. He has spent the years since Hillary lost going from state to state, the battleground states, filing lawsuits to change voting procedures and to bring in this so-called ballot harvesting. What ballot harvesting is, and it's happening everywhere, it used to be that it had to be a family member who brought your ballot in, and you had to prove it was. With ballot harvesting, party operatives can collect and submit as many ballots as they wish. They can go around, and we've seen examples of this sort of coercion in old folks' homes. They just come in with the box, and there is no process for verifying the ballots or verifying the identity of the person who cast those ballots. That's what he's been doing. But guess what, Dr. Paul? This same Mark Elias, he is the individual who hired Fusion GPS to produce the phony Russian dossier for the Clinton campaign. He's the guy who wrote the check to create the phony Russia dossier. He's the one who's been changing the election rules, suing to get the election rules changed, and he's the one I would say that's behind what at least appears to us as a serious question about the integrity of voting. And I really say that as an election monitor. If this were happening overseas, I would throw up my arms and say, no, this
This is why I love you, Daniel, and appreciate that Beaufont. It was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? You have not watched that, very important. It's a documentary about being an American. Good documentary, you should watch it. And man, election fraud. That's a thing. It's a thing if you actually have a government. If you don't have a government, then you don't have to worry about the fraud because the whole thing is a fraud, which is why I can only do but so much election talk. And my queue has gone beyond what I can take. So I'll post the link and you can watch the rest if you like. If you have a fraudulent mafia that you're voting for, you're in danger. That's a time to pee on yourself and know that we have problems and think about how you're going to get that pee out the drawers and off the seat and fix the problem so the next generation doesn't have to ride on that bus sitting in your pee. Because the job of every generation is to make sure the next generation is better off than those who came before. Yeah, so it's interesting from the simple perspective that it's all dirty. It's all dirty on all sides. It's the only way corporations win. That's the only way these massive elites get that the rest, the industries, right? So if it's fraudulent on all sides, when the left says they're fraudulent on the right, and you're like, yeah, there's some evidence in that. That actually makes some damn sense. And the right's like, they're fraudulent on the left. And you're like, yeah, damn it, I seen the evidence. That actually makes some sense. They're fraudulent. And you go back to that 30,000 foot level, like, man, y'all are sick. You don't pick a team like, oh, which devil am I gonna be? Devil on the right, devil on the left. How about an angel at 30,000 feet looking down like, y'all in hell? Y'all shouldn't be doing that. That's what I think. That's my perspective. I'm not worried about election fraud. I know that this is the end of the road. We have gone to the end of the road. It's time for Gerard to go. It's unnatural to be injected by monkey tissue and infant tissue. We've gone to the end of the road, and the pea just let go. All right, I can show you something else. Then I'm gonna get out of here. Cult programming runs deep. Yes, it does, Jonathan. And we were all
Wouldn't it be better if a leather holster could lock?
Oh Lord, here you go. Here you go.
With limited carry options, responsible gun owners know the frustrations that...
Hell, no, I did not click on cuckoo virus. I do not want to know anything about no damn mask. I hit it on accident.
come with carrying a gun. Unlike leather that's flexible.
Yeah, we don't need that. Those things used to solve problems a long time ago. We need a world where we don't need those things to solve problems anymore. All right, I'll show you. This is it right here. Yeah, this is Africa right here. Look, this is the people fighting for the cure. They want the cure in Africa. Bring the cure, bring the cure. You've been curing us for decades now.
Even if people are going to consent, there has to be informed consent. It's a form of a violation of a person's body, but however, logic should tell me if you want to test it in the areas which they call the epicenter of the world. Logic should tell me if you want to test it, but however...
Hey, wait. Something ain't making no damn sense. They supposed to be protesting for the cure. They protesting against it? And they burning masks up. What's wrong with these people? Are they crazy? They done had all kind of diseases and malarias and everything down there. Got Bill Gates down there trying to help them and save them. And he just has a great track record of helping people in Africa. And you mean to tell me they out on the street got that, they yelling and screaming and dancing. They don't want the cure? Does that seem odd to anybody or is it just me?
Logic should tell me if you want to test it in the areas which they call the epicenter of the world, not the epicenters of South Africa.
No. See, brother, they can't test in the epicenter. They can't do that. No, that's no. See, they spent billions of dollars putting AFRICOM in place. Obama made sure that they got the people in place to topple the government so they have a slave plantation they can test on. So that when the Americans get scared, they sit and hide in the house. They got some slaves they can test on. While the Americans are fighting over who got the privilege. You see how that works, left and right? There's always some slavery in this model. There's always some slaves in this model. That's why I text my family all the time. At least 8 times a day, I call my family some sellouts. I love them to death, but y'all some sellouts. Y'all some humble ruckus sellouts. I'm sick of y'all. I love y'all to death, but you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed. You're literally fighting for genocide of the dodo because you're acting like dodos. Grow up. It's time to build a new world. We need to stop fighting over resources. We got enough of everybody. Look at this.
That's my concern.
That's
We
my
feel
concern.
that our government is not supporting traditional medicine.
Is not supporting traditional medicine. What does that mean? That's an unscientific statement. That defies pseudo corporation for profit science. Traditional medicine? What does that mean? Break that down. Traditional. It means we use this in the longest running human trial study for 3,000 to 5,000 years. We took this and put this plant in this place with this root, mixed it up with some juice and hot water and boiled it and made a poultice and rubbed it on something and it worked. So we decided to keep doing that. And it worked out well until these people got together with the Rockefellers and the Mellons and created for-profit Rockefeller medicine that teaches you to save grandmas to put a plastic device over your face so you can't breathe, causes fungus on your face, and that's protecting grandma, not going back to traditional natural medicine that no less than 20 generations of human beings, of your ancestors who love you, tried to hand down to you. Literally, trusting your ancestors or trusting these bastards. And that's the whole campaign thing, like, get cured. And it's just crazy.
It's also not recognizing the work of traditional healers, because there are many medicines that traditional healers could produce that could help with the COVID-19.
I had to yell over her because if she said that, then that would trigger the learning software to track the video to lower the hits and views. You gotta cook. Y'all not getting it. You're not getting it. There's certain words you're not allowed to say because nobody's watching you. Facebook is full of a bunch of good people. YouTube is full of a bunch of good people. They're just human beings, and they listen to you. And the things you say make sense. They read your posts. They read your little messages. Private messages like, oh, this person's figuring out this makes some sense. Why am I working for the criminals? It's not people that's watching. 19. That's that song. Y'all know that song? Y'all know that song? And then the mask. I love the mask song. I'm gonna watch that mask song today. The mask song was off the hook. But what is it? Driving with my mask on. I still see people out there driving with. Like, you know, you could put the donut down and just go ahead and eat some greens or something. Hook that immune system. You know that's science, that your body literally evolved eating greens, not Cinnabons.
19.
Kill it with fire. Is that the pastor who said that? Just kill it with fire. All right, there you go. Change the music. Read some comments. Although, and now I'm too happy. Let me calm it down. Although we've gone to the end of the road, the left and the right can't let go. It's the new world order. It's all about death and extinction. Social credit score, digital dollar, not sharing. That was way off key. But that's okay. I'll never sing on key. I ain't worried about your key. I'm a soul wave energy creature thing having a human experience, and I don't think extinction will be fun. I think it's gonna hurt a lot, and I think y'all should be peeing in your pants, and not over who's gonna be the president, but the fact that you are a slave. No, you are a commodity, and you want to be a slave. Slaves have universal health care, not universal disease management. For anybody about to laugh and clap on that one. All right, are we surprised? No, Christine, some of us are not. Some of us are excited because what was predicted is coming true, so now we know what we got to do. All right, Ron Paul probably knows firsthand about this. He does, Jonathan, and I don't think he says everything that he knows, which is a thing, right? You say everything that you know, they put you in that grave. So, but Ron Paul says enough things, I think, that are interesting and true-ish enough to head people in the right direction. I'm quite believing that Ron Paul knows that you cannot have a Federal Reserve, you cannot have central currency, you cannot have a debt-based system because it makes a slave out of the plantation. You can't have a government that's bankrupt. Government that's bankrupt, that needs international billionaires for currency, it has just as much say in its land as poor people do over a house that they rent. Right? If you are bankrupt and you are poor, your only job is to make profit. You got to work 4, 5, 7, 8 jobs, cook chicken, drop some fries, pizza, Walmart, greet people, do what you got to do if you get any sleep. If you haven't been poor, you know what I'm talking about. You have no say in your existence. You are a slave. All you can do is work and sleep. Government that's broke, bustified, bankrupt, currency collapse, fall, then cobbobulated and gave away the printing of that currency in 1913 and 1933 has no say in anything it does. If it's a government, let alone a government corporation, it will do, it's required to do whatever makes profit, the same way poor people will have to do anything they can do to put chicken and biscuits on the table. And then hopefully grow up and replace that with greens and some basil and a smoothie. Something healthy so you won't get the flu. Hey, good morning, Claire Steele. What we got? Brother Matthew makes me think of the movie Gangs of New York. Yes, this is gang violence, Matthews. Gang voting is literally gang violence. Good morning, Lori. Criminal activity. Let me see. Cheating in the elections is as old as the country. Yep, and we cheat in everybody else's election. We ain't got no business talking about cheating in somebody else cheating in our election. Every single, how many governments are there, Jonathan? 225 governments around this criminal slave prison planet that we can't seem to discover human sovereignty and stand up for ourselves. There should be 225 governments modifying the election of those who modify global power, borders, currency, steal minerals and resources, blow up nations to make slaves to test on, steal resources from, and put together their iPhones. Right? That's that American privilege. That's why I don't get down with that. White supremacy. Yeah, you a supremacist because you in the borders. Now you watching me, you're a supremacist. Welcome. And don't talk about anybody else's supremacy till you give up your own. All right. Nope, we are not surprised. Biden on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Trump on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. They have to shut up and leave us alone. Yeah, Rebecca, I don't need a master. I'm old enough. I can change my diaper, clean up my own pee, wipe my own butt. I don't need no man to do that. I don't have nobody's under rules. I don't have no flags. Ain't no signs in front of my house. Ain't no bumper stickers on my refrigerator. I'm my own man. Too old for this nonsense. 29. Took me a long time to get to 29, Rebecca. Good morning, Laura. How you doing this morning? No lockdowns anymore. No, well, you know they got the next one coming, Christine. They've already got, because I think Jersey. Yesterday we were talking about UK. I think UK already announced their lockdown. Australia's still locked down. A few other places, I think Germany. And now I just got news yesterday that Jersey is flirting with this lockdown on early November. So we know it's coming again. These people paid for it. These people paid for it, and grown adults don't go out and Google death statistics, global population, 2019 versus 2020. All you got to do is look that up. And it's crazy. My son is only 20 years old, and the brother's smarter than probably 99% of every adult I know. All you got to do is use your abacus. Is something happening? Yeah, something happened. But is it as bad as what's on TV? No. All right. So, why would two political parties cover it up and act like one's acting like nothing's happening, the other's acting like something it's the end of the world? Because they did it. That's why. How do I know? Because those are the videos that get deleted. You get scientists saying it's got a gain of function where it targets the white blood cells, and that's what they did. They're just trying to keep this side on this side, to keep that obfuscation going, keep people stupid. They did it. We should not have no damn elections. We should have had a murder investigation, a global one. That's what we should have had if we were grown up, if we were a little more mature, if we had some empathy, if we were human beings, if we had that compassion for every single human in the human race. That's what we'd be doing, murder investigation. And hopefully the FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, somebody back there hopefully they put up somebody's records with the NSA, see who was talking to who funded who, and why they are still playing this game. Good morning, Terry. Don't you fret producing more as we speak. Thank you both. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let me see. They want to cheat, they'll find a way. Exactly, Jonathan. And that's the whole point. Like, it's their system. They literally, at the core, own the entire system. And all we're doing is talking about the cheaters within the system. They own the system. Thank you for Real Talk G. Anytime, Tammy Stone. I try to talk real. Sometimes I get it wrong. But the thing I don't get wrong is we are not overpopulated. We do not need no global megalomaniac and for-profit corporations depopulating us. We don't need no Georgia Guidestone type activities happen, even though it is etched in stone. We have abundance, we have automation, we have food for everybody, we can build homes for everybody, we damn sure got land for everybody. But the billionaires behind the ignorant political parties that everybody seems to want to keep voting for don't like to share. So they need to reduce the population. That's what kings and lords have always done. Please let me know when y'all done figured it out. So I'm not preaching to the choir. If there's any new people here. Ooh, exactly. There are no surprises here. Nope, no surprise, Jonathan. Just like, yep, they're killing people. Yep, that's what they're doing. They're bombing people. Yep, that's what they're doing. That's why we call it the old. It's not called the news. It's called the old. They stealing people. Yep, that's what they're doing. The human trafficking. Yep, that's what they're doing. People keep consenting to it and voting for it. They're testing on people all over Africa because Americans are scared and hiding in their houses. Yep, that's what they're doing. That's that American privilege. That's that supremacy where you can sit in your house and wait for a cure so they go test on other people. But you gonna find out later why they was testing on them. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the road. That's not a conspiracy theory. Kings have depopulated their ignorant citizens when there's too many of them since the beginning of time. Zachariah Minogue. Good name. Good name, brother. I appreciate that last name. Scared the hell out of me. I used to work with somebody in corporate America with that last name. He used to drive me like a slave. He was an Indian dude. He used to drive me like a slave. He would not let me sleep, rest, do nothing, call me 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm not going to tell you more of them stories. All right, X-Men. We are coming back in the dark ages, but with technology. Yes, we are. But they, Tammy, Gene, they might push us into the dark ages and they keep the technology. You know, like they died. These global billionaire, trillionaire families don't care about us. They could literally starve America back to being a third world country, and they wouldn't even care. Wouldn't even care. Wouldn't give 2 damns. Gerard, your live streams, I blame on my work avoidance. Thank you. Well, Lori, that's, you know, you was with me at the beginning. You helped start this, darling. You can't blame me for nothing. Lori was with me from the beginning. Let's go find out the truth. Let's get together, go find out the truth. You wanted to go find the truth. I didn't want to find no damn truth. I was fine by my damn self, Lori. Don't you put that on me. I was fine to be, I can get out here and vote, change my world, damn it. Lori, my live streams are just as much my fault as your fault. But the problem is you can't unsee the truth. And I think that's where the passion comes from, people. You cannot unsee the truth. You cannot unsee it. G adopted him when he was 9. Who did I adopt? Jonathan, I didn't adopt nobody. I know I got enough children. I had enough with this little eggplant thing. The thing was causing all kind of problems, popping babies out and stuff. No, I didn't need to adopt. I was okay. It was okay. It was beyond okay. We're not going to even get into that. All right, this is even better than the dangling and hangling chads that occurred with Bush and Gore. Yeah, you know what, Sandra? I think it is. I don't know. I haven't watched. I think I might pay attention to what's going on with the election. You know, I guess it's important to see what other people see. I've just been avoiding it. All right, good for the South Africans. Burn them all. Yes, Christine, but once again, the South Africans, they don't have their own government. They're just like Latin America. U.S. privilege, the privilege of everybody in America, the privilege of everybody in the UK and Canada and all the rest of these countries, then toppled those governments. South Africans ain't got no governments. Africa ain't got no governments. I don't think they do. They all have puppets. They have puppet governments. Confessions of an economic hitman. And so people can stand up. The government's going to do anything. The weapon providers. They're going to do anything for the currency manipulators and those that print the money. Right, the IMFs. And Obama started that. That's why he got Hillary Clinton to go over there and kill Gaddafi. Stopped him from creating that gold currency. So Africa can't lift itself up. It can complain. The only thing that can save Africa is people in the modern world. The only thing that can save Central America is people in the modern world. People who realize that this is a paradigm shift, and we're not going to let them shift it back to that criminal stuff we just left. So enjoy your day. Don't forget Del Bigtree. Yes, Del Bigtree. Oh, damn, Del Bigtree last week was off the hook. The pizza place, the pizza guy who's like, yeah, you can't come here with no mask on. Take that thing off. I love rebels, defiant people. I'm a cowboy. Yes, you are, Lori. Absolutely. Just zap me like they did the people in California. I just don't want to be tortured. Well, Tammy Jean, to a degree, that's probably what they will do. Even paid for that Star Wars. They've been zapping. They've probably been zapping California. Who knows? I know they use these weather weapons. When it's time to get down, they're going to get down how they want to get down. Me, Tammy, I really don't care what they do to me. I've already seen enough. I've seen too many people in foreign countries go through too many things. And if children can go through the abuse that they do because of my U.S. privilege, and poor people in America, and these Appalachian mountains, and these ghettos and barrios, they can go through a lifelong worth of starvation, being terrorized by their government laws, legislation. Then I figure, you know what, however they bring it, Tammy, it's fine with me. I just don't want this to go any further. That's kind of why, part of me, Tammy, they hope that Biden wins. Why? Because sometimes you just need to get that spanking so we can get this on. Sometimes you need to just turn the heat up. That boiling frog stuff. We're fighting pedophilia. We're fighting human trafficking. We're trying to end the global wars, and people believe that the trillionaire family's gonna let Trump do that. But then you just get a man in there that get two dams. I mean, a man that wrote a crime bill. A man that could write a law to put millions of children in prison. More children in prison than were brought here with slavery. Get that man, get him in office, let him write some black code and some Jim Crowing on a federal level. That might turn the heat up and get the frog to jump out. It might be a savior. That might actually be what saves. That might what brings back human sovereignty. Is people just something so aggressive in their face that you see all these people lined up in these ghettos and Appalachian mountains being shot by the global billionaires from experiments. That might be what it takes. By any means necessary, Tammy, I am for human sovereignty. However we get there, I just rather us get there sooner than later. I planted 2 peach trees in my yard. I should have peaches in 2 to 3 years. I don't get forcibly mutated by them. If so, they'll feed someone. Yeah, well, they're gonna feed someone, Susan. It ain't gonna be you. They'll feed someone. They may not even feed nobody. They keep playing with them weather weapons and spraying pesticides everywhere. Them peach trees might just be compost. Good morning, Brett Carey. Good morning, Mary Ann. I'm gonna get down. Get down. Do you remember the presidents of the United States of America? They suck. They were annoying. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. That's a good idea. And as far as presidents of America, what was President Grant? Was he like 22nd or whatever? We only had 22 presidents. That's just the real story, Matthew. We only had 22. President Grant, I salute you, sir. From the grave, 1871 was the last American president. Everybody after that has been an employee for a criminal corporation. All right, O-S-H-I-T. He thought I meant me. Oh, yeah, Lori, I have no idea who's talking to who on this thing. All right, that's it. We're gonna look at YouTube. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. All the Puppet Show, yes it is. Desert Ray. Ty said his mom wants to be the first to get the Rona. Oh no, the Rona cure? Oh no. It is sad, my mom said. We'll wait a year, then Moody American, Muda human. Wants to get it. I'm not impressed, of course. Well, Citizen Bell, there are a lot of people who are like that. I've run into a bunch of people in my walks. Said they can't wait to get cured. And there's nothing we can do about that. Everybody's a sovereign. If they believe that television, they believe these global billionaires, they believe these global megalomaniacs, then they're going to get it. And it's their right to get it. And it's our job to watch. That's all we can do. I'm pretty sure my mother will too. I'm pretty sure she will. So, we have to, however that goes, and we'll have to make some decisions after that is done. As everything goes exactly how it's supposed to. No reason to be depressed. Things will end up exactly where they're supposed to be. Wouldn't even worry about it one bit. Not at all. Not at all. I ain't worried. Human race is eventually going to be free. Eventually. Researching my genealogy of all people who were farmers in the community of diverse people. Well, farming is everything. It's how you free people, give them the land back, let them farm, build up their own strength. Everybody loves people, give them chickens. But it's a joke. Hollywood and young politicians. It is a joke. It's a horrible black comedy. Horrible. Never trust the big lips. Yes, that's it right there, Desiree. Never trust some big lips and a smile. Never trust some foul chi and a smile. Never trust global megalomaniacs and a smile. Never trust anybody that talks about part 2, a sequel, and a smile. Never trust it.
For the next one, that, I'd say is will get attention this time. So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time. That, I'd say is will get attention this